What's up, guys? Welcome back to Fish of Hex, and welcome back to my disaster of a fish room. Now, in the previous video, I did mention that I was going to make some big changes in here. I was going to rebuild the imported system and attach it to the 300. I'm stepping on everything. You guys are going to hear that throughout the entire video. So here I just want to kind of talk about what's going on, what I've done so far. Now, there will be more in-depth videos on this whole process. Don't worry about that. And I also want to show you guys a new addition to the 300, which I'm going to have to put the filter on to do that. Woke up to them this morning. Yes, them, many of them. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about that as well. So let's go ahead and start with the tank here, or the setup here. So I decided to just nix the old stand. I think I still have parts of it over here. Yeah, so I decided to nix the stand and just rebuild another one, allowing the tanks to be at a height that's easy for me to work at. It's about 40 inches, and it gives plenty of room for it to drain all the way over to the 300. And I actually just finished the plumbing for that, which was a huge pain in the ass. But it's done. It's all going to drain over to the filter sock section, and it's not going to be a problem. I did add the DCS 18,000 with a check valve, which will take care of both the lowboys plus the shallow reef in our selling tank. So it will feed all four of those tanks. And yeah, so back to the stand here. I decided to enclose the top, and some of you guys are asking why I do that. It's simply just to keep the dust out of the tank. I don't have to worry about things when the kids are stomping around upstairs. I don't have to worry about dust coming through or any kind of styrofoam, or not styrofoam, insulation or anything like that getting into the tank. So having them closed off is really easy. And if I ever need to, if the power goes out and I need to keep temperature stable, I can always put plastic over the front of it or block it off so it keeps the heat in. So it's just it's a twofold thing: keep the heat in and keep the crap out of the tank. So yeah, I like the way it's set up. The plumbing on this thing is really simple. I'm going to have 1-inch drains going down to 1.5 inch pipe, which will go all the way down to the sump. And then of course we have our 3/4 inch going back for our returns, which is split off and taking care of both of those. Each tank has its own ball valve where I can adjust the flow for each tank to make sure that it's perfect for the amount of flow or drainage I need in the pipe. So yeah, it just allows me to manipulate the flow and make sure everything works out, and I don't have to worry about it overflowing or having any issues with it just not working. So yeah, pretty happy with it so far. I do plan on putting a couple quarantine tanks on the bottom. Also, adding some shelving for storage. I will put some lighter things up here because I only have one support beam, which is basically what the lighting is going to be attached to, those XR15s. This barrel is coming down. I'm going to build a separate kind of like shelf here for that barrel, just because, again, there's not enough support up there, and I would like it to be lower. It's easier to work in, and I don't have to get on the ladder. So, yeah, there's still a lot to do here, but the majority of it is done. I have moved my RO station over here temporarily. I also made some changes to this. I attached the hose reel to the front. You guys are kind of wondering why I said more compact. Basically, this whole section here is all one. I just got to unscrew this ball valve, and I can, or union, sorry, and I can move it wherever I want in the fish room, and then I can just move this storage barrel wherever as well. So my plan is to take down the quarantine tank later today after I transfer those fish into the one lowboy that I'm filling up, because I'm only going to be able to fill one at a time with the water that I can make at a time with this blue barrel. So once that's done, I'm going to tear down the quarantine tank, put the RO mixing station in that gap or that space, and then make some more water and top off or fill up the other lowboy and have it all officially attached to the 300. Now, I haven't ordered any lights yet. My last AP700 is going to Mike, the Retank for Veterans tank, so I'm knocking stuff over. I told you it was going to happen. So I don't have any lights for this system yet, but really I'm not in a rush. I have plenty of room in the current grow out tank to keep the acros that I have and how they're growing on disc. And so I'm not really worried about buying the lights, but it is on the to-do list. It's going to be 2 XR15s per section. I might consider, depending on how the growth is with those, I might consider doing the same situation I have here with the retrofit kit in 1 XR15 instead of 2, because I think 2 is going to be a little overkill for such a shallow tank. I might do that. It just depends. I like T5s, don't get me wrong, but I don't like the electricity bill that I got. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous right now, especially during this time of year. So if I can get away with just the 2 XR15s growing and doing well in the tank, then I'm just going to leave it with that and maybe consider getting T5s down the road. But yeah, I do want to mention that these are the orders that I couldn't get out yesterday. I posted on Instagram that my printer, after 6 months, it's an inkjet, it just completely shit the bed. So these are the orders that did not go out. So if you didn't get a notification yesterday, it's because my printer died, and I ended up having to buy a new one, which was about 108 bucks. Let me go over. I'm about to show you some stuff over here as well. Motorcycles in for the winter. I ended up getting this one for like 108 bucks in a 2-year warranty. It's a laser jet, and it prints really fast, and no issue so far. So I'm glad I got that. I should have went to LaserJet before. You know, what is what it is. The news of Spike. I went ahead and Reef Lizardscape, I guess we want to call it. I redid his whole tank because of those damn crickets. They were just having a fiesta in here, making babies and being obnoxious to the point where I can hear them on the 3rd floor. So I went ahead and redid his whole tank. You see I got to get in there and clean off the rest of the clay. But no more crickets, and I'm not getting any more because he doesn't eat them, because he doesn't feel like chasing them around, do you? No. He's like, I don't like chasing my food anymore. I'll just stick with mealworms and my vegetables. But yeah, so that's about it. Huge mess. A lot of cleaning to do. Of course, I have orders going out today. I got to test the water. It's just, it never ends. But that's what, I mean, what would your day be if you didn't have a ton of stuff to do, right? So, yeah, that's about it. Hope you guys, well, that was a convenient time for my camera to die. What I wanted to show you guys was the new chromis babies that I woke up to. I'm going to do some video overlay to give you an idea of how many that were actually in there. Unfortunately, I only see 3 left. There were, I would say, maybe 10 or so, 15 of them. And I have noticed throughout the day that the powder blue, my boy Blue here, and the Melanors wrasse, this guy, have been charging in and eating them. So it was, I think, a pipe dream to think that they were going to make it. These 2 chromis have been probably the most aggressive fish in the tank, obviously because they wanted to make babies, but they did end up killing, I think I had 6 of those guys in here after Reggie did his damage to I think the original 12. There were 6 left, and then these 2 killed off all of them slowly. I mean, it was awful. I ended up saving one and putting him into the 40-gallon shallow reef, but his eyes all messed up. I mean, he got tore up by these 2. And, you know, they're in here making babies. But unfortunately, I don't think they're going to make it unless they can find a nice hiding spot. And hopefully they don't swim into that lowboy, because he'll end up snagging them too. He's pretty sticky and pretty aggressive, so not a good place to be swimming. But yeah, so that's why I wanted to show you guys some new life. It's a bummer that they won't make it, or the chance of them making it is pretty slim, but it is nice to know that the tank is healthy enough and is able to support that kind of life. It just makes me feel good about the system. Now, the only downside to the tank right now, is besides that it's obviously dirty, is my FishOfHex Millie is STNing. It's been happening over the last month or so. Having a hard time keep my nutrients up to where I want it to be. Plus, it's getting slammed with light. I think it's like 650, 700 par right there. And of course, it's just growing up and getting more and more light. Unfortunately, I'm going to give it some time, probably give it another month or so. If the STN continues, I'm just going to pull out the whole colony, put something else there that can really handle the light. Obviously, these staghorns and everything do really well up there. The Cali Tort does well, which is starting to come back. So it is a bummer, but you know, you can't sacrifice an entire tanks that's already healthy for just one coral that's not doing well. I made that mistake before, making changes just to improve it, but in the long run, end up causing more damage. So, yep, that's what I want to show you guys. Wish me luck trying to get this fish room done. It's probably going to be a few more days, and I'll hopefully get another video out to you guys probably before the end of the week. All right, so that's about it. I'll talk to you guys later. All right, peace.